Alright, let's keep this board meeting quick. How's the game design going, team? Good, boss. Real good. We have the concept for the main character done. His name is Ray. That's your name.
Yep, that's right. Ray. Like me. My company, my character, he's Ray.
Well, we were thinking something more like a superhero. You know, like Superman.
Good idea. Rayman. Rayman. Like me and like a superhero. I always wanted to be a superhero. Rayman. Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, yeah, we could change the name, but we have a bigger problem because we might need to change the character design because we're running out of polygons. So we need to make the character simpler and what are you doing?
Huh? Oh, I was just giving him bigger muscles. He's a superhero, right?
Yeah, well, those are real good muscles, sir, but we don't have the polygon budget for all those biceps and stuff.
What?
Well, you see, Ray, the console can only display so many polygons on the screen at one time, and biceps would need a lot of polygons, so
shut up. I got it. Invisible biceps. Take off his arms. Take off his legs too. And then we can put all the invisible biceps we want. We'll put like 7 biceps on his arms and biceps on his legs too. He'll make Superman look like a dork.
Well, you know, I can actually picture that looking pretty neat. Just like maybe like a floating character's body with floating hands and feet.
And invisible biceps.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a great idea, boss. You solved all our problems.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Let's hear it for Rayman. 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 Wait, what? That was only a dream? Wake up, Ray. It's time to get ready for school. Okay, Bob.
Let's begin by going back in time to the turn of the century, 1999. Ubisoft, bless their ambitious little French hearts, decided it was time for Rayman, the armless, legless wonder from the 1995 PS1 game, to make the leap into 3D. And thus, Rayman 2: The Great Escape was born, launching first on the Nintendo 64 and the PS1, and then basically getting ported to everything with a screen. Critics loved it. People called it one of the best platformers of all time, especially the Dreamcast version, which is widely considered to be the best looking one. That's the one that I played, by the way. All the footage that you'll see today is from the Dreamcast version. And honestly, no word of a lie, this game holds up better than almost any game from this period. It's a retro game that was way ahead of its time because it feels and looks just as good today as when it came out. Can't say the same for lots of games from back then. The story goes like this. Imagine evil robot pirates invade your world. That's it. That's the plot. Simpler times. Alright, fine. I'll elaborate. There actually is a sort of story, I guess. The villain of the game is Admiral Razorbeard. He's a nasty little big bad evil guy who turned Rayman's world into a giant prison camp. He's shattered the heart of the world into a bunch of energy looms, and it's up to Rayman to collect them, save his friends, and punch some robots in the face. It's got all the classic adventure story beats. You got your wise old sage, your comic relief sidekick, Glowbox, who's like the best supporting character ever. I freaking love this guy. He's basically a big dopey frogman kind of thing, and a bunch of magical nonsense about collecting 4 masks to awaken an ancient god or something like that. Honestly, I lost the plot, and it doesn't matter. It's just a pretext to move around the map and beat the levels, but it's got enough charm to keep things entertaining occasionally. The world feels alive and the cutscenes are cute, and Razorbeard is a delightfully evil little gremlin. It's not deep, but come on, it's a platformer from 1999. You're here to jump and throw your energy balls at robot pirates, not contemplate the deep questions in life. Speaking of which, let's talk about the gameplay because this is where things get good. Rayman 2 is a roller coaster. Sometimes literally. There are sections that totally feel like an actual roller coaster, but also figuratively because there are so many different gameplay styles that you get to experience in this game. You got precision platforming and puzzle solving and actiony bits, combat, on-rails segments. The levels are fairly linear. Sometimes there's backtracking, but not usually. Sometimes I did get stuck and had to look up a walkthrough, but not often. It's usually pretty darn straightforward.
Simple even. However, simple doesn't mean easy. This game gets very hard very fast. It totally kicked my butt. Lots of the DGS members had a pretty easy time with this one, I think. And they finished the game pretty quickly, compared to me at least. I played this the entire month and then I had to take an extra week to actually finish the game. I don't know if I'm just getting worse at games in my old age or whatever, but this game was a huge challenge for me to get through within a month. And I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I've been using save states to do it. And it still kicked my butt. Man, I must be total garbage. Rayman's main gimmick is his helicopter hair, or ears, or whatever. He can jump and then hover on his way down, which feels great for controlling the tricky landings. He also throws energy balls instead of punching, which is a little bit weird. I never understood why this guy can just throw infinite energy balls. It kind of ends up feeling like 3D Mega Man or something, but whatever. It's a mechanic and it works. The level design is really solid. Some areas are slower with puzzles and exploration, while others are fast-paced obstacle courses where you're floating on lava or surfing on rockets or water skiing or whatever. There's a ton of variety here. There's also some light combat, and it's not great. It's pretty basic. Mostly just lock on and strafe around and shoot style combat. It works, but the real fun is when the game throws enemies at you that have puzzle-solving elements to them. Overall, the gameplay holds up surprisingly well. It is smooth and fun, and it's the tight controls and great level design that is the main reason this game holds up so well today, unlike lots of the clunky 3D platformers from this time. I should mention that there are some quirks with the camera, though. There are lots of times when the game hides things from you because of the weird camera, and you need to go into first-person mode to look around. And you can rotate the camera left and right, but it's done with buttons on the controller. So I rebound those to the right stick, which instantly made the game feel more modern. You can do that in the RetroArch controller settings, and make sure that you save the controller remap for this game so that it gets loaded up every time you load this. It gets loaded up every time you load this game if you do that. For a game from 1999, this game looks so good. All versions look great, but the Dreamcast Rayman is just gorgeous. That's the best one, hands down. It's sharper than the N64 version, and it doesn't have the weird, we tried to put this on the PlayStation 1 look of the PS1 port. This is one of those Dreamcast games that really makes you appreciate how powerful that little box was. Oh, by the way, on the Dreamcast, this game has native widescreen support. Yeah, you need to enable it from the options in the main menu. This is one of the few games from this era that supported native widescreen, and you can do upscaling here too. I played it on my Retroid Pocket 5, and I was actually amazed at how good this game looked. I mean, not just because of the graphical fidelity, which is impressive, but the art style is the star of the show. Ubisoft nailed the art. The world is colorful and atmospheric, and it's packed with personality. Lush jungles and creepy caves and giant pirate airships. It all looks so good with some of the best texture work that I've ever seen in a 3D retro game that definitely still holds up today. Actually, I think lots of the texture work in this game can put lots of modern games to shame. Just look at what you're seeing. Have you ever seen a low poly game look this good? And the animations are smooth and the environments feel alive with like fireflies buzzing around and water shimmering realistically. Well, I mean, realistically for 1999. Now, for the sound, this is a little weird. Some versions of the game have full dialogue, and others use Raymanese, which is basically a bunch of gibberish sounds.
You want me more to? Yellow, 40 stem on my name.
I actually prefer the gibberish voices. It fits the game's weird, whimsical vibe better than the awkward voiceover, in my opinion. And there's actually not that much story in the game anyways. The soundtrack is phenomenal. It's cinematic and full of bouncy, adventurous tunes. It's got that epic fantasy adventure, but also kind of a cartoon feel, and it nails the tone perfectly. So, is Rayman 2 worth playing today? Well, I mean, if it's not obvious by now, frickin' heck yeah it is. But that comes with an asterisk. It's a fantastic platformer, and the level design and visuals and music hold up really well today, but it's still an old game, and that means that you'll run into some of those classic "why was this designed like this" moments, like the occasional frustrating camera angles or some weird difficulty spikes or awkward visuals that don't telegraph enough information about which things you can jump on and which are instant death. A few of the puzzles are so convoluted that I needed to look up a walkthrough. Those things do exist, but if you go in expecting a few of those and are willing to work past them, it's honestly a blast to play, and it definitely still holds up today. And I'd actually call it a must-play if you like classic 3D platformers. And I don't say must-play game a lot, except on almost every single video game that I review. So, yeah, this is another one of those. But the Dusty Game Society isn't a one-dweeb show, and oh man, we had a ton of DGS members taking part this month. I'll try to get through everyone's reviews here.